Alright, so I wanted to make a little video. I just got this board. It's a USB-C GPIO board. So this is a breakout board for your computer. I'm planning on plugging this into my old ThinkPad that I'm using as my, I don't know. It's the PC for all my 3D printing stuff. It's where I do slicing sometimes. Most of the time it depends. If I'm sitting on my big rig, then I'll probably use that. But when that's not on, the laptop is what's monitoring everything, or the laptop's what I use to slice and stuff. And it's also running Clipper for some other printers. And anyway, getting off on a tangent. So anyway, this guy is, it's plugs in USB to your PC and then gives you a bunch of GPIO. So we've got, let's see, can we get the focus working? That's kind of good. So we've got 3 volts, 5 volts, ground, and then we've got D0 through D7. So it looks like we've got 8 digital I/O pins here we can use for whatever we want. And it's kind of cool that it's got a 5 and a 3. I saw a little note on here about the voltage. Let me see. Where was it? Oh, yeah. 3 volt logic, 5 volts safe. So that's a good thing to note. Not everything supports that. So yeah, that's the pins on this side, and then on the other side we have a ground on the end, and then we have C0 through C9. So 10 ports. I'm not sure what the C is short for. We'll dive into the data sheet and more details and stuff on this guy when I actually when I do the next video is when we'll do it. Because I'll actually be building something with this. So right now I'm just kind of curious to hear some feedback if you guys have used this or have any kind of experience with it, good or bad. If you know any tips or tricks or gotchas. But yeah, basically the idea is to take this guy. I'm going to USB to the PC. This gives us I/O. Then we're going to connect to this guy. So this is kind of gross right now. I've gone through a couple iterations, so it's got solder blobs all over it, so ignore that. But so we've got 4 transistors here. We're using these guys as switches for the LEDs. So we've got RGBW. There's one for each. This is what I'm going to do is drive this strip. I've got a spool of these. This is just an example, so let's see if we can get some focus going on here. That's not too bad. So the yellow wire is the positive. These are 12 volt LEDs, and then we've got a switch for green, red, blue, and white. So you can see the difference between the 2 types of LEDs. Yeah, this one's got some yellow. These are the pure white LEDs. Then we've got a little resistor, and then we've got the RGB LED. Excuse me. I originally got these because I wanted to use them for seedling stations that I'm building. There will be a video on that too. So but yeah, I wanted the pure white light and I wanted the RGB so that I could do the pinkish light that a lot of brassicas, lettuces and stuff, enjoy that. So I've got extra and I figured why not use it. Also got some of these guys, these high power LEDs. These are pretty cool. I've got 2 different form factors. I've got some of these big ones. These are 9 volts, I believe. It's a 10 watt set up, and then I've got some of these little modules too. These I wanted to use in a lightsaber. I figured it would be pretty easy to throw a small circuit in the bottom of one of the 3D printed lightsabers. They've got a collapsible thing, and that's what I got these guys for. I forget the rating on these. It's much less than this guy. These are the chonkers. These are very bright, and they do get hot too. I tested them for a minute, just for a moment, with the 9-volt, and they're very bright. They get hot fast though, so we'll get more into those. You have to build a switching circuit, current limiting. That's actually what I got these guys for. These are cool. So it's a DC converter, super efficient, but you've got I forget what the third one's for. I want to say it's frequency, but you've got voltage and current adjustable, which is awesome for stuff like this. So I can really get this exactly where I want it, and then connect it up to this guy, and that way this won't get as hot. It increases the lifetime of the LEDs. You know, that's stuff you want to think about. Heat is always the enemy of electronics. So anyway, off of that tangent again. Sorry, it's what I do apparently. So yeah, USB, this will connect to the laptop. Then we're gonna have digital I/O to 1 pin for each transistor, and then we'll have RGBW, right? Each of these guys is going to be hooked up to one of the pins of the transistor. Excuse me, these are MOSFETs. I'm sorry, this is a gate. And then this is the 12-volt supply, so that'll go into this guy's digital voltage regulator. I've got it. It's got multiple different levels. It's kind of cool. You just drop a little blob of solder and bridge those connections, and that tells it which voltage you want. And these little suckers are pretty efficient too, and they're small. I made a video on these actually. It's like my first video, my first short. But yeah, so I'm tapping into the 24 volts from the printer. So we'll have 24 volts in, 12 volts out of here. That's going to supply the voltage for the LED strip, and then the logic will come from here. So then I've got an interface that I made for the Node MCU version of this. Basically, I've got another version that uses a Node MCU to that's already got. It's based on the ESP8266, I think it was, Wi-Fi chip. So basically the Wi-Fi chip has a bunch of memory, so people figured out that you could run your own programs in there and still fit the whole network stack. So they've become quite popular. And now multiple somebodies, people have turned them into little dev boards, and you can work on them with the same Arduino IDE that you're used to, and there's even, in my opinion, better setup that you can do in VS Code. It's a little more like config to get set up, but not too bad. And once it is set up, it's a lot nicer to work in an environment like VS Code rather than Arduino. It's the weirdest IDE. Not a fan. So but anyway, the ESP8266, that's Wi-Fi, so it was a standalone thing. So I made a little server for it that just throws up a web page and has a little color picker on it. It's got an off button, and also like a self-test thing that just runs through and cycles through red, green, blue, white, and it has a delay. So it's like red for 3 seconds. It does 3 seconds for each color, I believe. But the point is to just run through and do like a little test to just confirm, everything's hooked up and it's doing what it's supposed to. But the point of that is that I'll probably just port it over. Make some kind of a color picker or something. I don't know. I haven't worked with this. Apparently you use Python, and I haven't done a lot of Python, but I've done a lot of coding, and Python is very similar. So I'm sure I'll be fine. It's not like this is anything crazy. But yeah, again, the point of this video is more to talk about this guy and to kind of ask you guys, have you worked with this? Is it good, bad? Any tips or tricks, scotches, that kind of thing. So let me know, what do you think? This is my basic idea, right? This guy is gonna hook up there, and then each of them, U for voltage. There we go. That's the basic idea. So what do you think? Let me know, comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and yeah, stay tuned for more notifications if you want that. Hopefully in the next couple days I'll be able to put out a video about this guy. Thanks. See you.